Welcome. Fawzi is the Assistant Vice President of Information Technology at Notre University in Beirut, Lebanon. And he's the advocate of open educational resources. So we'll try to reflect on experience today of introducing such open online educational resources in higher education. And what we would love to know more about is self-directed learning. Should be now the key point of what you are going to present, is it?
It's going to be
part of it. Okay, yeah. All about owning learning, self-directed learning, and maybe how we measure that. I always ask how we measure that.
You just press on this one, yes?
Yeah, the green button is always the solution.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Fawzi Baroud. I'm coming from Beirut, Lebanon. And I'm here today to share with you and reflect with you about my own experience in championing open education resources in a Lebanese higher education institution in Beirut. So just a brief context, how did it start? How did I start with introducing, integrating open education resources? That was back in March 2014 when I participated in what we call the exchange program in the US, and I had the chance to visit for 3 weeks, to visit top universities in the States, like MIT, Harvard, Stanford, and that's where I learned what's going on with the open movement, open access, OER, and stuff like that. So I came back to Beirut, Lebanon, and I did a presentation for our president and the university administration, explaining to them about this movement. And then in May 2014, we formed an OER committee at our university, which is called Notre Dame University. And since then, 2014, 2015, I've been doing a lot of awareness campaign, workshops for faculty members, students, and staff, and of course, involving libraries in this whole process. And one more thing, we have done is, because there is, as you all know, there is no OER without Creative Commons licenses. So what we have done is we have signed an agreement with the Creative Commons licenses, and now we are officially an affiliate of CC in Beirut, Lebanon. Why we're doing this? Why a university would go with OER, with open textbook? Because we do believe that, our faculty will have full legal right to customize and contextualize OER to fit their pedagogical needs. As you know, that when we say OER, when we define OER, we're talking about all kinds of resources, teaching, learning resources which are in the public domain, which are released under a CC license, and you have, the faculty members will have the full right to use those resources, adopt them, remix them, repurpose them the way they would like. Another important thing and this is very important, is the cost of textbooks. For example, in one semester, let's say a biology textbook will cost our student, per student, $100 to buy the textbook. So this is another issue. And of course, we believe that using up-to-date open education resources, it will improve our student success, and then will expand, of course, access to open and free high-quality educational materials. Our action plan is so simple. The first step is awareness campaign. We involved all the members of our university at all levels, as I already said. And the thing that we have done is we start piloting one English course in the Faculty of Humanities, where my colleagues are here, the Dean, Dr. Kamal, and Dr. George. And what we have done is we have piloted this English course where we replaced the textbook, the textbook that students have with totally open educational resources. And we had about 500 students enrolled in 20 different sections. And then at the end of the semester, we designed a survey to see the perceptions of our students. How did they find the course, moving from the traditional textbook to what we call OER. And I will not go through a lot of data here and right now, but let me show you quickly what were the dimensions that we measured. You know, our survey, it was around 5 dimensions. We were trying to measure attitudes, the satisfaction level of our students, how effective the open education resources that we have used, and then the quality of those resources, and of course, the progress in meeting the student outcomes. And one more slide from our study, and actually it's published in the book of abstracts, you know, our study. You can, if you look at the results, you know, from, this is a student survey, you know, satisfaction level was very good. The quality of the resources that we have used or the instructor have used were excellent. From a student point of view, how effectiveness was good, and the progress toward meeting the student learning outcome was excellent. Our future trajectory, I will go quickly. What we'll be doing, we're gonna continue in raising awareness. A very important step is to, we're gonna be working this year on our policy at the university level. We are trying to identify incentive for our faculty members, you know, how to make our faculty members, you know, want to use open education resources, find those resources, okay, adopt those resources. So we're looking at what we call now course release time, maybe. Another important thing we're looking at is what we call the digital badges. You know, our faculty member who use OER at the university, for example, will get a digital badge. This digital badge, they can use it on their social media platform. They can use digital badge, you know, for maybe in their promotion. They collect so many badges, so on and so forth. And one more thing, you know, this is at the university level. What we have done parallel to this is we designed a website for the Lebanese community to go out on the national level, and this is a snapshot of our website that will be launched end of December, where we're gonna, people can see different type of resources, open textbook in English and in Arabic. Okay, so this is also will be for the Arab region, for the whole Arabic region. Let me just, from my experience, let me just tell you what were the lessons learned, you know, during this process of integrating open education resources at this level. The first thing, you know, we learned that instructor must be convinced about the benefits of OER. A lot of questions, you know, why OER? We have the textbook, you know, you don't have to bother with it. It's you know, we don't have time, they don't see any benefit in using OER, so you know, they should be convinced in order to use and start using open education resources. Another point that we learned is the quality of OER, where to find OER, how we can help our faculty member locate open education resources of high quality, how we can help them find open textbook with high quality. Another thing that we have learned, that especially in this pilot that we have done, the collaboration between instructors, that, for example, our instructor who were teaching this English course, 5 or 6 of them were in charge of finding the resources, evaluating the resources, and then posting those resources on our virtual learning platform. So the collaboration is very important. Another thing that we have learned, that our instructor need the right tools and the appropriate training. Because when we say, you know, finding a resource on the internet, you know, not every instructor knows that this resource is copyrighted or this resource falls under Creative Commons licenses. So instructor need the right tools, how to create resources, how to find different resources from different places, remix those resources together, how we do that. And moreover, if I want to create my own resource and publish it on the web, how I can do that. Another thing, those are mainly the lessons learned. Let me give some recommendation for institution if they want to go into this direction. The first thing is the OER policy at the university level is very important. You know, if you have people working with open education resources from bottom up, it's not enough. It will be a just piecemeal initiative in one faculty, another faculty. You need to have to fight for, if I can say, an OER policy at the university level. Incentive for the instructor, you know, why I want to do this. You need, institution need to find incentive for that instructor, whether monetary incentive, whether it's a digital badges, whether a course release time, anything, incentive is very important. And then, of course, develop a strategy for involving all stakeholders. And of course, continue to capitalize on professional development. Those are some recommendations at the institution level. If I have time, if I may, Niamh, I would like to, from my own person, as a champion now, if some of you in this room would like to champion OER, my advice to you, I'm going to give some points since I've been doing this for the past 2 years now. You know that there is the what you are doing, how you're doing it, and the why. Please focus on the why. Why you're doing this open education? Is it important for your student, for the generation, you know, for our generation, for our kids? You know, reducing the, let's say, the cost of textbook always focus on the why you are doing this initiative, or you're going OER. Another thing, you know, my advice is to maintain objectivity. You know, here you're talking about change. You know, you're introducing something new within the institution. So, and you know that whenever you champion a change, it's not something personal. It's not something you can do it by force. It's not something you can just, this is my opinion and you have to go into this direction because I said so. You know, everybody, especially in the academia, they have, you know, a say. They have something to say. My advice is just provide open platform for everybody to say whatever they want to say and listen to them. Another thing is engage the open. And when I say engage the open, you know, you have to know that there will be always a group of a faculty member, instructor, you know, who disagree with whatever you are saying, with whatever you are preaching about open education, but please maintain your objectivity. What I advise, you know, when I say engage, please, those people who are listening to you, those what we call the early adopters of, you know, those are your heroes. Those will be your champion in the future. Okay, engage them and listen to them. Okay, because those people will be ready to take action. And if you know, spend the most of the time with those early adopters of your ideas. And then another point is, you know, it's not enough to just do it one time. You have to keep going and reinforcing this change. And it's very important to keep those early adopters, you know, engaged in this process. Give them all the support they need. Speak positively about things they are doing in a conference, in a university meetings or whatever. Those are your champions. And one champion is not enough. We need a lot of champions at all levels in the university. And one more thing is that this movement, or the OER movement, it's not one step, you know, that you do it and that's it. It's a series of changes that, you know, in order for you to create what we call a culture of openness. Thank you very much. And if you have any question, you know, I'm ready to answer.
Thank you.